you feel about this team composition specifically? How do you feel about double Telos?
I mean, I was just about to say, not only the Kaya, but also the Greatsword. It is an attribute, or rather a weapon that we're seeing more and more often in both NA and SA that we don't really get to see in EU. And being able to see that they're picking up on some of these things that the South Americans are doing, I mean, it's evidently been working. Double Axe is something I'm a bit more familiar with, though, and so far it's not really looking that good from my side.
Pugsy coming back on with the side, able just to swat away Anonymous Alex and giving Walshy the opening. D-Light neutral. Anonymous Alex has such a long way to climb to be able to make it back onto the stage. Walshy commits to the down and it was unsuccessful. Worthy looking for a way to land, looking through the GCN sig, the weapon toss, actually kind of saving Walshy's angle there, just sort of interrupting his momentum and keeping him in place. The side comes out and that's going to be the stock.
Anonymous Alex with the instant ground pound, well, almost instant ground pound on the landing. One of the quirks on Axe that are actually very strong, but you actually don't see almost anyone use them. Anonymous Alex throwing the enemies off guard with that one. It definitely threw me off guard, which is why I got so focused on it. Pugsy starting an offstage interaction here. Anonymous Alex wants to help Worthy out, but Walshy pushes him offstage as well with that spear. The pressure that Pugsy and Walshy are outputting right now is crazy.
Okay. And Pugsy's going in against Worthy. Worthy has not been able to play the game in so long. Finally able to reset neutral, but doesn't have a weapon in hand. Pugsy is cornering him. The GC D-Light immediate finisher. Amazing stuff to be able to catch him on the ground. That GC D-Light, it is such a deceptive option for Greatsword because you don't really expect them to cover that kind of space so quickly.
I mean, a double terrace composition is like one of the best things that you can have whenever you have control. And how is Walshy and Pugsy going to make sure they don't get control? Well, right now it looks like they're just holding W. They're just going forwards, constantly pressuring the enemies. And Pugsy almost going down to that one, though. A 1v2 situation, but Worthy actually decided to go for the offstage instead. And it's going to lead to 2 knockouts.
Okay. The down into the recovery as well, that was amazing. You get the scoop and then you get knocked off the top. And now all of a sudden, Anonymous Alex and Worthy, you can never count out Telos. You can never count out that damage output. And you can never count out the survivability. Pugsy on the ground. Okay. That coverage was ridiculous.
I mean, you can definitely count out Worthy and Anonymous Alex now because they are going to be reaching 0 stocks across the board as Pugsy and Walshy are picking up the first game. Pugsy, I mean, we mentioned it earlier, Pugsy, it's the elephant of the room, getting 3rd in the most recent 1v1 tournament, and just already in this first game, what an amazing showing from him.
Yeah, that was an excellent showing. The combos was fantastic. I gotta say, I love the Jayun pick. He is really putting down the pressure. He is getting close to Worthy, and he is not letting go. He's making sure to keep both of the Telos really stuck in disadvantage for extended amounts of time. So, given the way that Game 1 went, especially with Hammer, that is a weapon that benefits sometimes just like standing on the ground and holding your space because of how much space you can cover with Sidelight and the sheer amount of pressure that D-Light has. And I don't feel like Red Team was able to establish themselves in that way. That really super powerful, grounded gameplay where you feel like you can't approach Telos, I don't think we got to see any of that.
For sure, I mean, Walshy and Pugsy, they're definitely playing the right weapons for the task as well, and the way that they're robbing Worthy and Anonymous Alex of that space has been beautiful so far. Looking potentially, if Worthy and Anonymous Alex decide to play a little bit more aerially, especially on Axe, that could definitely change the tides of battle here. But we're moving into the second game, and so far we're seeing Walshy and Pugsy getting the better of Anonymous Alex and Worthy on these initial trades.
Okay, Worthy not able to get the whip punish in time. Anonymous Alex offstage. Pugsy just going to be backing off for a second and now picking up the axe. You get the pogo, and that's going to be 1 stock gone off the top. That's going to be another downer into the weapon toss as well. That spear weapon toss is so huge. That horizontal hitbox on it is so wide.
Like 3 or 4 spear dares only for the teammate to come in with a sword there. That's a tilter right there. Very well played offstage interaction from Walshy and Pugsy sweeping in there at the end. They're able to take both of those stocks off. Walshy is going to be joining them on that second one. Pugsy now the only one with 3 left to his name, and he is playing quite aggressively here. He is not afraid of using this stock in any way he needs to. Finds the side signature, and now he's diverting his attention over to Anonymous Alex instead.
He is target switching. He is playing 2 super effectively here. And now I think the plan with that side sig was hopefully Walshy would be able to cover behind him and at least get a counter hit onto Anonymous Alex. And then Walshy's D-sig never actually ended up connecting. So I like the attempt. I like what they were going for, but they weren't able to get it off. Unfortunately, that N-sig does not connect, but it does not matter because Anonymous Alex down to his last stock and Worthy gonna be soon to follow.
Anonymous Alex trying to fend for his own here as he waits for Worthy to respawn. He's on the hammer. He needs to get back on stage. Walshy not committing to that edge guard, instead trying to go for a 2v1. It's not going to lead to anything massive. And just look at that, the way that they move. Even in footsies, they both went over to the right-hand side just to see if maybe he would panic and go off stage. Then they have a free edge guard.
Okay, looking for the sider, able to get the D-Light sider. Is that going to be enough? Walshy in such a nasty position off stage. And you know what? Pugsy kind of set Worthy up to connect that recovery. That is the only way that Hammer could have gotten a spike. And now, Worthy looking for a way to be able to make it back on. The downer solidifies it, but Anonymous Alex with the amazing save. He got out there. Does that save the red team? Do they get this game now?
And it could have been a team combo to Walshy, but Anonymous Alex wasn't able to close out the sideline there. It's a 1v2 now. Anonymous Alex down in red, and he's gonna have to try and land against the Great Sword and a bow. It's going to be a tough task. It's going to be a tall order. He's struggling so far. The GCD light is going to be enough to close out the stock, and that's 2-0 on the scoreboard.
That GCD light is so huge. It covers behind you as well. It covers in front of you. It is just the best way to be able to catch a grounded opponent like that. But Polly, there was a little bit of hope there for a second. That was a really, really scary game. When he went out there and went to go save his teammate, there was a chance that Red Team got back on because he could never count out Taros. But ultimately, I love the synergy that Pugsy and Walshy have. I love just how much they're covering each other's space. They're making sure that, you know, hey, if I'm committing to this, my teammate is always behind me and covering it. And then they're able to get some really solid team combos as well.
I feel like Walshy and Pugsy, I mean, they weren't succeeding that much off of the pressure as they was in the very first game. Of course, the pressure is still very prevalent, and it's one of the driving factors of their success. But at this point, as we mentioned, I mean, we're starting to talk about a little bit of conditioning. Anonymous Alex and Worthy, they might start to lose their confidence here, which is definitely not what you want to see.
Walshy holding on to the ground here, backing off a little bit, just waiting for somebody to whip something so he can get a punish. Pugsy committing off stage, and then Worthy swooping in there with the recovery and taking Walshy off the top.
Such a quick stock. We were barely able to commentate what happened, but Walshy is going to be going down. Pugsy now on orange. He's able to get that recovery into Anonymous Alex, freeing up some space, but they keep getting sandwiched. They're sandwiched like for the past 10 seconds.
They keep finding themselves in the center, they keep finding themselves stuck in there, and right now, Worthy, oh no, putting Anonymous Alex in an awful position, comboing into Walshy's sider as well. Anonymous Alex cannot hope to make it back onto the stage. That was such a tragic case of friendly fire. Red team set up that stock for the blue team. They made that possible.
So far, Anonymous Alex and Worthy, they're doing a really good job in these footsies here, and they're definitely much more successful in the neutral game plan than they have been in the previous 2 games. Now, Pugsy and Walshy, if they're able to adapt to this in a time, they might be able to get a 3-0 here. But only time will tell. Worthy and Anonymous Alex, it's a fairly even game if only they can get this knockout onto Pugsy. What a chase dodge to avoid that in air.
Okay, that was a lot of pressure, that was a lot of damage. The neutral leg finally does it. Walshy avoiding fighting himself sandwiched. You saw Worthy with the preemptive side sig. He was ready for Anonymous Alex to send a D-Light side of an opponent to him, and then it just never ended up connecting. Really simply put, I feel like Pugsy is winning every single 1v1 interaction. He is just outplaying all of his opponents in neutral.
I mean, he got third at time, though. I guess we're starting to see why. Pugsy definitely excelling on that front so far. But Worthy and Anonymous Alex, they're about to knock his teammate out as he goes down into red. Pugsy is able to get Anonymous Alex down, but the Teros is going to quickly return the favor.
BCD light into the recovery. That is Pugsy closing. Pugsy is bringing so much consistency to the blue team, and they don't really have to worry about Teros living for too long. The D-Sig does come out though. Walshy is running away for dear life. Landing with the neutral at least buys you some time for your teammate to come back down. Pugsy now with the great sword. Double chase dodging after hitting his own teammate. A little bit unfortunate, and Anonymous Alex is landing so many hits against Pugsy.
Yeah, Anonymous Alex, massive string there, and he kept the pressure up as well. It could have set up into an off-stage interaction, but didn't want to make any large commitments there. Was she able to get back up? Going to be interrupting that ground pound with a bow recovery, actually.
Okay, gonna be setting him off stage at such a nasty angle. Is the weapon toss gonna be able to do it? Yes, it will. The recovery at the expense of his own teammate. Worthy, you have to make the sacrifice worth it. You took out your own teammate. Can you now make this comeback? Can you do this for your fallen brother? Or is that gonna be the stock? And yes, it will be. D-Light Cider into the Cider combos. He had a chance. He sacrificed his teammate. He had to take out one of his own, and it still wasn't enough.
Now I want to look at these. I want to look at the replay for that final one. Even though it did ultimately lead to their defeat, I have to say, not